Like what?
All right, so this one is interesting. This is a pastor who used to produce for Diddy that is sharing some things that he saw. I want y'all to
tell us about the overall environment of the music industry. You're in now the secular industry, at least. What did you experience? Let's say more so from a spiritual Christian's perspective, being inside. What did you experience?
One thing I experienced is that this whole thing is spiritual. Most people would just attribute it to being gifted or being talented, but the spirit realm very much controls what it sounds like, what it looks like, what happens in these rooms, on these records, what's written. I remember even the first record that I did for Bad Boy Records. I remember being in the studio for 4 days straight, no sleep, because I was driven by something more than just my own ability. It was something driving me.
Was it the demonic spirit?
I believe it was a demonic spirit in the sense that
gotta be creepy.
If I wasn't in those realms, I couldn't hear the music like that. I couldn't hear it as clear. Like, there were certain sounds and certain things that I could hear and produce that if I wasn't in that mind frame, I wouldn't be able to produce it.
So what got you in that mind frame? What would it be?
It would be focus, just almost channeling something else. Weed, getting in the studio and just, channeling it, just pulling it out. And when I got to a certain level of it, I noticed it could come in 5 minutes. I could just create something and it would be amazing. Some of the most amazing music I ever heard.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And you described moments where you saw people actually doing seances over their music.
Absolutely.
So what did that look like?
So we would all be in the studio and it would almost be ritualistic. We would light candles and as the beats are playing, they would, their hands would be moving like this and they would be chanting different things over the music alone. This is before it goes to the writers. And honestly, I can hear it in my ears like it was just yesterday. Like it was amazing music. And I again, you don't get to those realms without a supernatural aid or a supernatural God.
All right, what do you think about that?
You're weird, twin.
How credible a source is this guy?
I have no idea. Jeremiah?
I ain't gonna lie.
This is a Jeremiah production.
I just found the clip, bro. I wasn't in the room.
It's a weird game.
But I'll say this: I do hear people say like a lot of beat makers do say, "Yo, you ask me, are you classically trained? You know how to play beat?" Like, nah, bro. I don't know how to play no. I don't know. I'm not classically trained. I just get on there, I make some puff, and then I just start making stuff. And it's like,
okay.
Like, I've heard people say that, you know what I'm saying? I heard the same thing about rappers. I was getting drunk and stuff started coming to me and it just making hit records like that. So, I mean, all of this music is spiritual. I don't understand why people don't think it is. It's a very spiritual situation. It's a very spiritual. And the seances, I've heard people saying they saw, I ain't gonna say the name of the artist, they saw somebody do a seance at the Grammys, like behind scenes before their performance so they can get right. So,
yeah, you hear people say all the time, they say they do like different rituals and seances over the masters of an album.
Yeah.
Or a project before they put it out. I read books. One lady, she was in the Satanic Church, and she said they would travel around to different studios with rock artists and things of that nature, and it'd be literal witches that come into the studio, and they would do stuff over the music. And the next thing you know, they drop a song from an unknown artist that nobody knows, and it just takes off. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's something legit behind it personally.
So I will say this, right? Because not to take away from music in general, because I do agree. We know Scripture says that God inhabits the praises of His people, right? And so when you look at praise, a lot of time you put it to music, then obviously we understand that music and sounds and all of that words invite spirits, right? So you praise God and invites the Holy Spirit. Okay, cool. So on the other end, when you talk about secular music, well, whatever they talking about, you also inviting that into where you at, right? Cool, understood. Now, I'm not gonna say because I haven't seen it personally. I don't know about seances and studios and all of the spooky stuff, when it comes to making music. But I will agree. I think what it probably more often than not looks like, because I've worked doing music with folks before my walk now, where that was the mentality. Okay, let's pop a perk, roll a joint or something before we do some music to get in the right. We're more creative that way. That's how you get past writer's block. That was the thought, and it does become like a ritual because now you got to do that to create. You know what I mean? But I don't agree, obviously, because I believe the gift that you have comes from God, and you don't need anything else to.
You know what's crazy? You just said I never thought of this before, but the people that do that, like you said, you did. I wonder if the writer's block is actually God trying to protect you and the people you're about to rap to. I wonder if it's a protection and you just bypassed it.
Yeah,
because the stuff that comes out of these people's mouths are dangerous, right? It's like it's hurting our culture. And what if that God is like trying to block all that stuff in their brain, and it's like, nope.
We're talking about Future today. That all them lyrics Future had on that song. What was it?
Because they're doing spiritual too. All them drugs. So you invite other spirits to help you with that joint. And at the same time, you got to remember too, what was Satan doing before he got kicked out? That boy was making music. So now that we making music and you injecting those spirits, what does Satan want to keep doing? Making music. So
Future had a lyric in one of his songs on his mixtape. He said, I just be tagging them in. I'm riding with Satan again.
Man, come on, man. Come on.
The man said, I'm riding with Satan again. The other song, Little Demon in the Cut, go raiding at the church.
Tag him in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got the demons with me. Got the devil with me. Like a rocket. Like.
And then folks just think he just talking the talk. Man, come on, man. Can't be green with this junk, man.
He's not talking about spirits. He's talking about his partner. That would have been.
That was
Yeah, he ain't talking about no spirit. He just talking about his folks. That's how.
Still killing the story, man.
You still believe in that, bro?
Okay. All right. Folks ain't green. Man.
All right, so speaking of Diddy, we got to get this one in before line for line. Jaguar Wright says something that caught our attention. Let's hear what she has to say.
See, we don't want to believe in spirituality because spirituality holds us accountable for our choices. We were talking about this a little earlier. About how the devil tricked everybody into believing that he wasn't real so they wouldn't realize they were being possessed by him. See, if it was all you, and you chose it, then there's no one else to blame but me. But you remember there used to be an old saying, the devil made me do it. The devil made me do it. We don't hear people say that anymore. Right. No, we just hear mental health. Mental health. Yeah. Mental health. Mental health. Why is it that we live in a spiritual realm filled with nothing but pure magic created by God and we don't want to acknowledge it? Wow. Why do we not believe that demon possession is real?
All right, so Jaguar Wright. How do I feel about Jaguar Wright? Anyway, regardless of how I feel, what do you think about what she said here?
Can't be green. Can't be green. Can't just act like we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but principalities, powers, and what was the other one?
Rule of darkness in high places.
Yeah, man. So can't be green, bro.
Yeah, Jaguar Wright is, if you don't know who she is, she's the one that's been waging war with Diddy and Jay-Z for years and years. If you could see her in an old video when Jay-Z did Unplugged. She was singing, I think, Heart of the City or something like that. So she was around, and she accused Diddy and Jay-Z of a lot of crazy things. But it was odd for me to hear her talk about this because I didn't know her to be a Christian.
I think she's spiritual.
So it's confusing because she started out saying spirituality, but then she said you don't want to be held accountable. Accountable to who? if you're not talking about the God of the Bible, Christianity, Jesus Christ, that's who we're accountable to.
I think she's saying God in general.
Okay, but who are you talking about? Why?
But you know,
there's several spirits.
But you know, we're in a time where everybody is like now is on a God wave, kind of like kind of like with what's the name said on his Shannon Sharp interview is God side and the other side kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's what people are now. But you just don't know when they talk about God, you don't know who they're referring to. You know what I mean? So because you could say God and the devil, and people just don't know what God are you talking about, So
yeah.
But I think for her, man, she, like I said, she's been talking about people because I think she's like been an insider, you know what I mean? And honestly, I think she may feel bitter about some stuff, or people may have done her wrong. I mean, she made me look at the whole rap conscious community like y'all frauds too, because you for some years you've been hearing people like you think are like the conscious, yeah, brother, we got it. Them jokers is as ratchet as the people that y'all.
I don't know, man. When I look at people like her, it's easy to just write them off and discredit them. But I've seen more often than not the people we look at as being crazy or off base. I ain't saying I agree with everything that she say.
Yeah. But
a lot of times there's a lot of truth to some of the things they say, but we just look at them and their credibility sometimes like, I don't really know. But she'll be the one that really be giving you the most game for real.
There was a girl in Danny Kane that talked all this stuff about Diddy for years. I mean, years. And it wasn't until, her most recent interview, I guess it was on the Diddy Tubi documentary, that it really started to make sense. Oh, what she's saying is true. And then they started putting clips back together where she was performing with Danny Kane, and he would do stuff to her and say stuff to her, and it was like, whoa, that was really harsh, that was really mean. And she kept saying, like, I've been trying to tell y'all this for years, but I just been canceled because I went against one of the biggest people, in the music industry, and yeah, I couldn't do anything about it. So that's really eerie.
Yeah, I think what we're starting to see is powers are starting to come down. Now, is this something God's been like, working on for a long time, that he's going to allow these people to take control of our culture in certain ways and then bring them all down so we know that, no matter how powerful you get, he's more powerful than them? Maybe that's the message he's sending. But I just wonder, if this young lady is not a Christian, why aren't there more Christians speaking out against this stuff longer ago than now? Like, why is it all of a sudden now it's okay, but we couldn't speak against it?
But I think we were speaking against it, but people call us conspiracy theories. People was like, "Oh, that's a conspiracy." Yeah, come on. I mean, you you like one of the big ones. You were like, I'm like, Sean, what do you think about? Come on, Jeremiah, really? Come on.
You know what I mean? I still warn you about that.
Yeah, so
some of this stuff is ridiculous.
No, but what I'm saying is, some stuff is like when we had Course here. Course was saying like, I can't say everything I've seen in the music industry, but it was sound. He said before you guys got here, we was talking. He was like, Chris, let's say my brother. He's like, if 90% of the stuff y'all think is conspiracy theories, it's like true.
It's real. Yeah.
It's real. Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, people have been speaking out against stuff for so many years. They either get killed mysteriously, or they get like rejected, from the industry. Like, yo, we don't mess with that dude. That dude, he whack. You blackball. Yeah. So now that everybody's coming out, I kind of understand now, like, why you waited to come out, because you were probably blackballed, or you were probably looked at like you don't know what you was talking about.
So when we looked at that video the other week, when that guy was like, for the people who sat by and watched what was going on, and he didn't say anything, or they may have took payments to be quiet and stuff. If you're a believer, or you somebody who knew this stuff was going on, and you didn't say anything because you're worried about getting blackballed, or you're worried about this and that, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You chose your platform, you chose whatever it was over the truth, over what was right. If you seen something that was dark and evil and heinous going on to these people, and you knew it, and you sat back and watched it happen and didn't say nothing, you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we could say it's different, obviously, right? Because Jesus was going against the church basically at the time, but he spoke on the powers that be, and that's why he died.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's the case, that's a big fact in that for a Christian who's also in that same space, you can't look at the Sanhedrin, right, that Jesus was facing, or the folks that's in a position of authority, and say, oh, well, I'm not going to say nothing right now because it's not the right time. I gotta wait till I got the opportunity. And nah,
I don't have no death
nah.
wish. I don't want nobody to go out here and gun me down. You know what I'm saying? But if it came down to it, I'm following Christ.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Like when you follow Christ, it comes with everything.
Yeah.
It comes with rejection. It comes with being rejected. It comes people lying on you. It comes with folk hating you. It comes with persecution. It may cost you your life. Like we want a comfortable Christianity. That's all the lot we talk about. We just want that comfortable Christianity where we can just say we're a Christian. We can go to church, go home, chill, eat chicken, watch football, and then nobody bother us. Like it gonna come with a price. It gonna come with a sacrifice. We had a conversation before this happened earlier. Like if such and such happened, would you just like nah? Because I understand this comes with a price. A sacrifice has to be made. You can't say I'm Christian until they threaten me. I'm Christian until they say this.
And that's what love is, man.
Yeah.
Love is sacrificial.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
NC says someone like Puff had police in his back pocket. They may have tried to tell.
I guess that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
If they tried and the story never got out, then I guess you can't fault the person.
that's true.
You know.
Yeah, but you got to say something, man.
But yeah.
Little kids getting taken advantage of. I seen something today. Not only did he had 1,000 bottles, they said the baby oil was laced with some kind of drugs. Like this is going on to kids.
Man.
This is going on to people like
under his crib. all
I
type.
can't sit back and just watch that.
Yeah.
And be a Christian and a believer and just sit back idly sitting watching that and don't say nothing because I'm scared something's gonna happen to me.
Or the Christians were participating.
What if your life may be the sacrifice that's needed for all this to stop?
Yeah.
What if you may be the person that God used to just bring all this to an end? Do we believe in where we going after this?
Think about
Do you have an eternal perspective?
Come on.
Think about if the Cassie video had got leaked 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that was
People, how many people knew about that?
Yeah. And then the whole staff, and then the corporation behind it, and whoever the money was paid to. Like it's a lot.
You know the system that we got to bring down is this whole NDA system. There's too many people, powerful people who can pay people off with NDAs that keep people silent. Like we got to do something about that, man. There's just too much nastiness hidden under some NDAs.
When you think about the fact that there's a law for a document, basically that's a legal document that will protect someone who's broken another law.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That's
like
weird.
that don't make any kind of, I don't know, that don't make sense to me.
But I think the thing is, for the average person, it's like, how bad do you want to be there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To sign an NDA. Like if I gotta go in your house and somebody says, like, unless I'm working for, like if I'm working for somebody, like I'm doing a legit job, then I kinda understand. But if I'm like going there to chill and hang out and party or whatever, and somebody say, hey y'all, man, before we get up in here, my man said he want everybody to sign this. I'm like, dude, I'm
That's
not
a telltale sign. You finna do something to me that don't need to be done.
We've signed. We had to sign an NDA when we were being talked to about a reality TV show, and I get that, right? There's ideas. There's some people's names being brought up, maybe some investors' names that you don't want to just go out on social media and talk about. But when you talk about like life-changing, life-altering situations.
We at a party. That's it. Legal stuff, we at a party. You like, before you come and party with us, you got to sign this.
Nah, that's crazy.
Now, I will say this.
What are you going to do to me in here that I can't talk about?
Yeah.
I'm straight.
They doing a little too much.
Now you at a couch party. You know what
I
I'm
was going to
saying?
say, I remember going to a certain Christian hip-hop video shoot, but that was a waiver release for like media content, so that's different.
Oh,
but
I was about to say.
You mixing so
it
much stuff together.
it confused me. It confused me because I remember people saying they didn't want to sign it, and that's when I was like, oh, what are we signing here? Because it was like you're standing at the door and they were just handing out copies of it.
Somebody mentioned, I mean, what if the problem is that we think Diddy's the top, but he's not?
Oh, we know he's
probably
not.
No, definitely not.
We know he's not.
So what if whoever you would tell to is
the wrong
there's
person.
nobody to tell to? What if it's all the way up the power ladder to where no one will ever get really in trouble who needs to get in trouble? I think that's what a lot of people
If the people
feel.
start speaking up enough, somebody gonna go down. I mean, you can't really change it all in one day, but not speaking up is not the answer. If you see injustice going on, well, I'm just not gonna say nothing because nobody ever
It's
gonna
too
change.
much. Yeah.
That's not the answer.
Yeah.
Sitting back watching, try.
But no, to me, and just being real, no. Okay, I think, and then we had this conversation a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks ago, where it's like there's a difference between a party and an after party, right? So if somebody's throwing a party, an industry party in general, where just is after the Grammys and everybody just go to that party. It's different than you going, and it's in a public place. It's paparazzi there, it's people inside, it's a public place. Versus you going to somebody, yo, my man got a mansion party after this, y'all ready to go? That's something totally different than going to a regular party. The problem is now everything is, if you say I've been to a Diddy party, now everybody looking at you like, yo, you was at the freak off?
If you walk in anywhere and see that much grease and don't walk out of there, you want to be there. you want to be there. That much grease don't terrify you, bro. All that grease, I'm gone, bro. I'm going to slide on up out of there.